Most people think successful fat loss comes from choosing the right diet. Keto, carnivore, and intermittent fasting get a lot of attention these days. But think back a decade or two, and you probably remember Atkins, South Beach, The Zone, Paleo, and the Master Cleanse. That was the lemonade diet. In this video, I'm going to show you why chasing the right diet keeps people stuck and what actually needs to change if you want to lose fat long-term as you get older. To start, let's talk about the diet cycle. I've coached busy professionals successfully with fat loss for 25 years, but I've gone through my share of weight loss struggles too. In my early 20s, I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now when I suffered from severe digestive issues. I'll admit to trying all of those diets I mentioned in my 20s when I struggled to get the fat off. The same 10 to 15 pounds came and went for over a decade in a cycle of restriction and binging on my favorite foods, mainly chocolate and ice cream. It was depressing, feeling like a failure with fat loss when I had always been someone who worked hard and achieved my goals. As a coach, I've seen a lot of people bounce from one plan to another, always hoping the next system will finally be the one that they can stick to.
This next leap will be the leap home.
And while restrictive diets can help you lose fat in the short term, the results rarely last. That rigid approach kept me stuck and frustrated for years. I repeated the same diet cycle over and over again because I was focused on the wrong thing. It took me way too long to realize that another arbitrary set of food rules was never going to solve the real issue. Discipline isn't the answer. At this point, you probably assume you just need to try harder. You might think the problem is that you need more rules or more discipline. It's not. Being harder on yourself almost always backfires. High performers are especially vulnerable to this. You think working harder will always get you the results you want, but it usually just leads to burnout. You can't sustain that restrictive diet and you feel like a failure. Vow to never give in again. Another epiphany, a moment of complete clarity and belief that I'll never have ice cream again. I'm never having French fries again. I am never drinking again. But if you've made those kind of resolutions before, and I know you have, you know they won't last. Because until you change how you think about food and exercise, you'll never be able to stay lean long term. I can tell you how much protein to eat and how many vegetables. I can even give you recipes and meal ideas, but none of that will help when you're upset and you feel the urge to eat an entire tub of ice cream, or two. At least that's what I used to do. Or if you come home from a stressful meeting at work and feel like you need a glass of wine. No special diet will fix the internal patterns that cause you to repeat the same behaviors. This is the part that most plans ignore and most coaches skip. They focus on food lists, meal timing, or strict food rules. They ignore the thoughts, beliefs, and the stories that shape every decision you make. That's why a key part of my fat loss system is the lean mindset method, which helps you identify the thoughts that are sabotaging your fat loss. I've got a free Lean and Strong 40+ plan that gives you more detail about the method, but I'll give you the short version here. Oh, you can get that in the link in the description. A really common thinking trap that high achievers fall into is all or nothing thinking. That's probably familiar to you. That often looks like someone completely giving up on their diet because they ate something that wasn't on their nutrition plan. I had a cookie after dinner, so I might as well have some chocolate too. Well, I screwed up now, so I might as well have a muffin for breakfast tomorrow. That's like spilling a few drops of your coffee on the counter and then deciding to pour the whole cup out. A more balanced thought in that situation could be, it's only one cookie. One choice isn't going to erase all my progress. Just move on with your next meal. And remember, the cookies can also be part of your plan, and they should be if you enjoy them, because a nutrition plan without your favorite foods just sucks. This happens with exercise too. I skipped a workout, so I'm losing my progress. I guess it doesn't matter if I miss again tomorrow. What many people also do is think of their nutrition and workouts as one package. So if one fails, they don't think it's worth doing the other one. You're either on a massive health, nutrition, exercise kick, or you're sitting on the couch eating a bag of chips. There's no middle ground, no maintenance mode, no just do what you can today option. And there should be. At this time of year, most people are serious about that health, nutrition, exercise thing. Your odds of achieving your fat loss resolution this year is about 10 to 20%, depending on who you ask, unless you take a new approach this year. Most resolutions fail because they're built on extremes, extreme rules, extreme expectations, zero tolerance for normal human behavior or psychology. So here's the new approach that actually works. Forget trying another new trendy diet. Start from where you are and make gradual changes that make sense for your lifestyle and preferences. Most importantly, look at your beliefs around food and exercise that could be holding you back. Do you feel like you need to be perfect to succeed with fat loss? Consistency will give you way better long-term results than extremes. Do you think you're too old to lose fat? The 40s and 50s can be a challenging time. A lot of pressures come together at once. Career, family, and maybe early health issues. But these years can also be a turning point for your health and strength that can lead you to confidently entering your 60s and 70s. It's not too late. Are you trapped in old patterns and habits? Most of us have built up a negative relationship with food over the decades, from messages from our childhood to the demanding social media landscape today. Negative messaging can keep us trapped. Once you learn to ignore the noise and reframe your thinking, you'll learn to enjoy food again in a way you didn't think was possible. You start by creating a food freedom list. That's in the 40 plus plan that you can get in the link in the description. You build a nutrition plan that makes sense for you. Less restriction, more enjoyment. A reasonable approach that gives you control over your fat loss while still enjoying your favorite foods. To start putting that together, watch the video here.